Squirrels! So hello, and welcome to another Legends of Runeterra video. My name is Chris, and it looks like we have count them, two new cards for today. And yeah, we're going to look at them, we're going to go through them. They've just come out, and tomorrow, is it tomorrow? No, there's 2 more days, right? There should be 2 more days of spoilers, so if there is another champion, then I would expect tomorrow to be a sort of clue to what that champion is, maybe followers of that champion. And then on the next day, the champion itself. But we'll find out. Today, another smaller day, but that probably was to be expected. Both Shadow Isles cards, so, more sort of Shadow Isles things going on, which is quite interesting. So, we have Invasive Hydrovine, which is a 7 mana 7/6. When I'm summoned, with Fierce, I'm sorry. When I'm summoned, all round start, summon an Encroaching Mist. Ooh. Oh. That is interesting. Because, of course, the Encroaching Mist, I should say, I'm just theory crafting in my head. But the Encroaching Mists, of course, are VIEGO'S thing, and they buff themselves, and they buff Viego as well. Now, this is a 7 mana card. I'm just wondering, is that at the right speed, or is that too slow for Viego? Because what I've sort of realized with Viego is that I think Viego will end up as a champion like Zoe, where everyone initially talks about, wow, this level 2 is really powerful, but it's so hard to get to. You'll never get that level 2. What's the point? But the true beast lies within actually just the first form. And that the level up is something that happens sometimes, but, it shouldn't be the focus point of the card. And I think that Viego could operate in quite a similar way. In the idea that, you just end up sort of buffing Viego, and he becomes a sort of like a 5 mana, 10 attack, 9 attack, something like that. And that is where you actually get the strength of Viego from. And that's a big threat in and of itself that your opponent might struggle to deal with. That's what I'm thinking for this. But is this card, does that fit what Viego is doing? It seems like it should. So if you have Viego down and this down, you summon an Encroaching Mist, which buffs all the others, and then if something dies, you get another one, right, from Viego's ability, which will then buff them again. I think that's how it works. I don't think you're limited to one Encroaching Mist around. If you are, then this card is, forget about it, because then you're just kind of, you're too far in. In my sort of initial theory crafting builds for Viego, I've been going for, I think there could be a They Who Endure deck in there. Because, of course, the Encroaching Mists have Ephemeral. They will die a lot. They can become a threat on their own. Of course, Shadow Isles, has a lot of ways of dying anyway. And Viego will be sort of a second atrocity target for you. That is what I was thinking. That's sort of been a spoiler alert for potentially future video. That's been my sort of idea. And I'm just wondering whether this goes in the deck. Is it a bit too slow for a They Who Endure deck? Probably. I think this is more of a control-oriented card, something that's going to sort of finish off a game. This is a weird deck to build, because this is obviously a pretty decent card. Like, if this lives and this goes on, like, if this happens for 3 times, like, if this lives from turns, 7 to 9, like, that's a lot of value on one card. And it's a 7 mana 7/6, which is, a good stat line in and of itself. But I don't know if it's too slow. Oh, God. This is a really interesting one. Let's go on to the other card, which is Withering Mist, which is a 5 mana slow speed spell. Drain 2 from 2 enemies. So you gain 4 life. I'm assuming. You gain 4 life and potentially kill 2 units. But it's slow speed. Slow speed gonna just kill this card off? I feel like it is. 4 life, it is good. That is good, but I feel like slow speed is just, like, if this was fast speed, I'd be saying, oh my god, this is crazy, wow. what a card. But now the slow speed, it just can't be. It just can't be, right? And again, Avalanche is slow speed, but that's to everything. This is a maybe. This is a maybe card. It's not terrible. Obviously, like the effect is pretty powerful. But if this was like 1 mana less or fast speed, I'd say, yeah, this is an incredible card. The fact that it's 5 mana and slow speed just feels like... you know, like it's just too much, maybe? I think. That's where I'm going to go with this card. I'm going to come back to this Hydrovine card, though. I just don't know. I just don't know if it's too slow or not. Seems quite a decent effect. And here's the thing. Here is the thing, I think. If there is reliable ways, if there is one more card that says summon an encroaching mist, that is, you know, literally any mana less than 7, then I think this makes sense. Then I think you can go all in, encroaching mists, put this in a deck. If there isn't, and it is just this, and it's, you know, the ones that we've seen before, then I think maybe it's a one-off. Maybe that's what I'm trying to display here, that this isn't going to be something that you go in for a lot of, but maybe it's a one-off that helps you sort of stay in the game. It's a threat in itself, but also be careful. I think that's what I'm leaning towards. I think that's what I'm going to go for. And I think, so we'll do a quick rating of these two cards. Hydrovine, I'm going to say is like a 6.5, I think. But could be higher. I could underrate this card. I could see this being good. And it kind of depends, I think, on how big the mists will get. Obviously, like, this is the kind of thing that you kind of can't know before. And I think that's why a lot of people underrated Lurk as well, because they didn't realize how quickly those things would get to, like, 7 attack. And, before, like, you know, and before you know it, like, you have to block every single one of them every single time. That's something I think people grossly underestimated with Lurk. And I think the same could be true with the Encroaching Mists, where if these things get to, like, 5, you know, if you can get them to, like, 4 and 5 by turn 7, and this on summon effect gives you a 4/4, and then next turn is giving you a 5/5, then yeah, this is going to be a really good card. If it's going to, you know, only be like a 2/2 because you can't guarantee it, you know, and it feels awkward, then maybe less so. So I'm going to give this a 7. After thinking about it, I'm going to give this a 7. And Withering Mist, I'm going to give a 5. Like, a card that could be, if like super aggro, it's like super small aggro comes into the game at some point, this could be good. Don't know why I'm yawning, but this could be good. Like, kind of like the box, I think, is where I would put this card, where in specific metas, you can put it in, and you can feel fine about it. But otherwise, maybe not. But that is this little recording today. Some interesting cards today. I'm actually intrigued to know what you guys think about these cards, because it feels like, you know, there could be something with these cards. And it's only 2 cards, but they're interesting cards, I think. So yeah, that's my take. And well, England are playing in about 3 hours, so I'm going to enjoy that. But until then, I'll see you tomorrow with more Legends of Runeterra content, and have a really nice day.